For our ethnography project, our group decided to explore Lithuanian American culture. To collect data about Lithuanian American culture, we attended the St. Casimir Festival at the Lithuanian World Center in Lamont, Illinois. The World Center is a large complex with a church, classrooms, meeting rooms, cafe, and gymnasium, which we were able to explore while there for the festival. The festival itself was a fundraiser for the Lithuanian Scouts Association, which is a very important way for Lithuanian Americans to stay immersed in Lithuanian culture. The festival had many vendors selling foods, crafts, jewelry, books, and magazines in Lithuanian and other household goods imported from Lithuania. We were able to participate in the festival, trying many delicious traditional foods, talking to numerous Lithuanian Americans, and observing community members interacting with one another. We were able to learn more specific information from some vendors and a first-generation Lithuanian American mother who we interviewed. We had a lot of fun and were very impressed with the strong sense of cultural community at the festival. We also interviewed Rose's good friend Carl. Carl is a first-generation Lithuanian American dual citizen who has spent many of his summers in Lithuania. Carl was able to give great insight from his experiences growing up as a Lithuanian American. He gave us a lot of cultural and contextual information that would be difficult to find through formal research. We conducted additional research online to understand more of the history behind what we observed. Many of you might not have heard of Lithuania or have any idea where it is. Lithuania is bordered by Latvia, Belarus, Russia, Poland, and the Baltic Sea. Lithuania is approximately 65,000 square kilometers, making it about the same size as West Virginia. Their current population is 2.794 million. Much of Lithuania's culture needs to be seen through the lens of history. Above is an outline of the major historical events of Lithuania. The tribe of Lithuania was founded in the Baltics as early as 1500 BC, but eventually became the biggest medieval empire during the 15th century. They united with Poland during the 16th century in order to expand this empire. The Russian imperialist movement that occurred from the 18th to the 20th century, along with which came the imposition of Russian language and culture in Lithuania. Lithuania then rebelled and experienced a time of independence during the early 20th century after World War I. This lasted until World War II, when the Soviet Union invaded Lithuania in 1940, only to be taken over by Nazi Germany from 1941 to 1944. This was a period of great turmoil in which nearly 90% of the 210,000 Lithuanian Jews were executed. The Soviet Union took over again in 1944 under the leadership of Joseph Stalin, starting his reign of terror. Many Lithuanians were deported or sent to forced labor camps. Stalin's reign lasted until 1953. During this period of time, Lithuania lost about 780,000 civilians. Lithuania then continued to be a part of the Soviet Union until they fought for their independence in the late 1980s, resulting in them establishing their official independence in 1990. The Lithuanian language is the oldest surviving Indo-European language and is a symbol of Lithuanians' resilience through several centuries of adversity, foreign occupation, and external cultural influences. Throughout multiple periods of Russian rule, the Lithuanian language was banned, yet Lithuanians continued to remain proud of the language, at one point using it both as a way to organize a resistance and later using it in hopes of regaining independence as a country. The perseverance of the language through many centuries of oppression helps give Lithuanians a huge sense of pride in their language, which makes it a strong sense of their cultural identity. Because of this, Lithuanian is still spoken widely in the Lithuanian American community. We experienced this at the St. Casimir Festival with all signs in Lithuanian, vendors selling books and magazines in Lithuanian, and vendors speaking Lithuanian so widely that we felt as though we were plopped in a different country for the day and experienced many language barriers despite being in a suburb of Chicago. Many Lithuanians learn the language at a weekly Lithuanian school. Many Lithuanian Americans attend or speak Lithuanian exclusively at home. Carl explained that he only spoke Lithuanian at home growing up and that it's continued to remain an important part of his identity to connect him with his family and help him communicate with relatives living in Lithuania. The primary religion of Lithuanian Americans is Catholicism. However, they continue to celebrate several long-standing pagan traditions and ideas. One example is the Baronka. Baronkas are a bakery item similar to the bagel. As shown here in the picture on the left, baronkas can be fashioned into a necklace which is meant to be worn around the neck on days of celebration. Their circular shape reflects an important theme in Lithuanian culture: unity. The circular shape also embodies their cyclical perception of time. There is no beginning and no end. Another common Lithuanian symbol is perpetuity. Winter symbolizes the death of all things. Therefore, anything that survives winter is seen as undying and full of life. This is why evergreen branches and various dried flowers and leaves are used to make the decorative wreaths and verbas, bouquets, that are commonly displayed during the holidays. Food is highly valued in Lithuanian culture and is considered integral to their social culture. Food is meant to be a shared experience among family and friends. On Christmas Eve, kūčios, 12 meatless dishes, are passed around the table and shared. Each person should eat from every dish so that the next 12 months are filling and successful. Food is also shared on Easter. A single egg, which symbolizes life, is split with everyone present. Sharing this egg indicates that the family will continue to be harmonious and unified. Finally, food is important on Fat Tuesday, Uzgavėnės, where people gather to eat fatty foods so that they survive fasting during Lent and the final days of winter. We personally experienced the role food plays in Lithuanian American culture at the St. Casimir Festival. Volunteers and attendees of the festival insisted we try several traditional foods. Some of these included tree cake, šakutis, cottage cheese donuts, Varskas spurgos, and farmer's cheese. I'm not going to attempt that one. We also saw how the people interacted with the food. In the main gym and in the cafe, huge congregations of Lithuanian American families and friends gathered together, socializing over hearty plates of meat, potatoes, and root vegetables. Lithuania has socialized medicine, so many Lithuanian Americans who grew up in Lithuania or may have strong cultural influences continue to view healthcare as a right instead of a privilege that not everyone has access to. Lithuanian Americans also experience language barriers due to the widespread use of Lithuanian in the community. Older Lithuanian Americans may not speak very much English, or even younger Lithuanian Americans who attend school or work speaking English may not have sufficient knowledge of English to understand complex healthcare terminology, since they most likely learn Lithuanian as their primary language. Keep this in mind when working with Lithuanian Americans and be prepared to book an interpreter early. In addition to language barriers, other communication challenges may arise since Lithuanians tend to have a high context communication style. So using a more explicit style of communication may come across as condescending. Lithuanians are very reserved when meeting new people, but once they get to know someone, they are very loyal, and value long-lasting friendships. As a clinician, this may make it challenging to build rapport with a new Lithuanian American client, but building trust with them will pay off in the long run to establish a lasting therapeutic relationship. Finally, because of the very strong family ties, Lithuanian Americans have a multi-generational family support system. Younger family members try as much as they can to take care of older generations, and the multiple generations play an active role in each other's lives. The social engagement from family connections and a strong Lithuanian American community create social capital that can be very positive, have very positive impacts on health, such as increased health maintenance, stress and illness management, and improved mental health. Thanks for watching.